Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back with yet another video about Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. So, today we have a big betrayal going on. This is somewhat recent news from the past few days, which I thought I kind of wanted to talk about. So, the family of George Floyd is suing Ye for $250 million. The reason they're suing him is because, well, I should be more specific. They're actually planning to sue him. It hasn't actually been done yet, from what I know, but it's looking like it's definitely going to happen. They're suing him because of his comments on the podcast Drink Champs. On the podcast, Ye mentioned that he watched Candace Owens' documentary, which is called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold: George Floyd and the Rise of BLM. And he also kind of went on to talk about his conclusions from watching that, basically. He mentioned how he didn't think George Floyd died because of Derek Chauvin's knee on his neck. He said that he died because of the fentanyl in the system. And he even specifically said that the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. Those are the direct quotes from him. I actually have a few quotes from some of the attorneys of the family. The first one is from Pat D. Dixon III, who said, Kanye's comments are a repugnant attempt to discount George Floyd's life and to profit from his inhumane death. We will hold Mr. West accountable for his flagrant remarks against Mr. Floyd's legacy. And then another is from K. Harper Williams, who said, free speech rights do not include harassment, lies, misrepresentation, and the misappropriation of George Floyd's legacy. Some words have consequences, and Mr. West will be made to understand that. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is what are the chances of George Floyd's family actually being successful with this lawsuit? If I'm being completely honest, look, I'm not a legal expert or anything, but just from what I'm seeing, it's going to be pretty hard for them to actually win this. First point being, defamation is not possible because George Floyd is dead, so there's no plaintiff whose reputation has been damaged, which libel and slander both require. And it also means that family members can't sue for defamation, so they can't sue on George Floyd's behalf. That's just not how it works. So already putting that out of the way, the most plausible path for the lawsuit would be to accuse Ye of intentional infliction of emotional distress. This would also be very hard to prove because it would need to be proven that Ye's statements were intended to cause mental trauma, emotional distress, or bodily harm to George Floyd's family through extreme behavior, which if you actually watch the whole podcast, I don't know how you'd be able to prove something like that. Ye's just speaking his mind and talking about what he thought about the whole situation. And on top of all of this, what he said is really not that different from what the defense attorneys said in Derek Chauvin's trial. So I don't know where they'd be going with that. Alright, so my next and final point of this video is the whole betrayal aspect of this. If you're reading the title, some of you might be confused to why I'm calling this a betrayal. And the reason actually is that back in 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Ye actually donated $2 million to pay George Floyd's daughter's college tuition. Obviously, all that $2 million didn't go directly to that. He actually donated to several things, but part of that $2 million was used to pay for her tuition. And look, let's be honest here. It's clear George Floyd, he wasn't much of a wealthy man, probably struggled to make ends meet. His family wasn't very wealthy either. So that is obviously a huge help to George Floyd's daughter and the whole family as a whole, which would have to, continue living and providing for his daughter, which no longer has her father alive. So that is a huge act of kindness and generosity from Ye to the family, which he didn't have to do at all. He just did it because he felt like it. And now you have all this time later, what is it, just maybe a little over 2 years since that happened at this point, and the family is back and they're trying to get some more money from the same guy who helped them all that time ago by suing him over certain comments he made. I just felt the need to point all this out because it's just really a prime example of what BLM is all about, which is money, money, money. I mean, we all know what went down with the actual Black Lives Matter organization, which the founders got millions of dollars from. Where else do you think that they got the money to pay for their mansions? I mean, look at Patrice Cancullers, who is a co-founder of Black Lives Matter. She owns a $1.4 million home in an actual white majority community in LA. Where do you think she got all that money from? And not only this, but everybody knows what the foundation has been doing with their money, which is just donating it to Democrat politicians if it's not being used for other things, like I just mentioned before. And I'm supposed to believe that George Floyd's family really just wants justice for Kanye West's comments, and they're not just looking for a quick dollar and make a couple hundred million out of him, despite him actually helping them in the past. And look, if you really want to believe that George Floyd's family just truly feels like they need to, I don't know, go out there and sue Ye for what he said and, I don't know, bring justice to him because he somehow did something really wrong to them, just think about the fact that Ye is the one being sued in the first place and not Candace Owens, which is the person who made the documentary that Ye got these ideas from. Why wouldn't they sue the actual source of all of this? Well, I mean, that answer is pretty obvious once you take a look at their net worths and how much money each of them actually have. With Candace Owens being worth only a million, and Ye being a billionaire who claims to be worth about $10 billion, they just targeted the person that they could get the most money out of. It's really that simple. So yeah, I think I put that together pretty well and explained the whole situation and obviously gave you guys my thoughts on it. I do want to know what you guys think about it. Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Check the description of this video to follow me on all my social medias. Make sure you're in my Discord to get notifications on when I upload and when I go live. It's a new Discord, so if you're in the old one, make sure you are in the new one. And other than that, I appreciate all of you. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video.